equation and then grouping these different terms. Some of the terms will cancel. Rho u square and this rho u square will cancel. Similarly, rho uv and rho uv will cancel. So the derivative parts will remain only. And if we divide both sides by the volume, that is delta x into delta y into 1 is the volume of the control volume that you have considered. And if we divide both sides by the volume, then we get this equation. So the final equation that we'll get, we have to remember one thing, that it is an equation that considers the constant quantity. For mass conservation, it is the mass per unit volume, which is essentially density. For the momentum conservation, is momentum change per unit volume. So this is the rate of change of momentum per unit volume. Okay. And if we rearrange these things, if we differentiate this thing once with respect to rho, once with respect to u, then we get two terms out of this. Similarly, here also we get two terms out of this. Here we get three terms out of this, like that. And if we differentiate and if we group them appropriately, then one group will come out to be rho into del u del t plus you see rho if we take common, and there are two u del u del x because of rho u square. So if we differentiate with respect to u square, then it will become 2u del u del x multiplied by rho, and there will be another term which will be what? If we differentiate, there will be one term which will be u square into del rho del x. Another term will be rho into del x of u square. So then that del x of u square will be equal to nothing but 2u del u del x. Now again, out of this 2u del u del x, you break this into two parts. It will be rho u del u del x plus rho u del u del x. Now that part I have taken rho into u into del u del x, and there is another rho into u into del u del x. In this way, we have tried to group the different terms into appropriate combination. For example, here it is grouped like this, and this is essentially the substantial derivative of u, that is ddt of u. Ddt of u is equal to del u del t plus u del u del x plus v del u del y. Similarly, this is what? This will be ddt of rho, and this is what? This is grad dot v. And if you take these two, the whole thing, sorry, and if you take these two terms, this bracketed term comes out to be this, and this bracketed term is this part, and these two together is our continuity equation for any fluid having constant or variable viscosity, and this will be always equal to 0 as we have derived in our prior discussion. This will be equal to 0 irrespective of whether the density is constant or the density is varying. This will be always equal to 0. So this term will go out. So what will remain is rho du dt. This is basically acceleration in the x direction. Du dt is acceleration in the x direction multiplied by the density. What is density? That is mass per unit volume. So it is the force per unit volume, the force causing the acceleration of du dt along x-axis, and that is because of acceleration into mass per unit volume. So this is the force per unit volume, and this is equal to minus of del x of sigma x plus of del y of tau yxy tau yx, and this capital X is called the body force term. It is basically a force acting on the control volume because of being under some kind of a force field. Now this force field is called a body force field that is coming distinct from these forces. This is a force that is, or this stress is because of a force which is acting normal to the surface. This stress, the tangential stress or shear stress, is coming on the body because of a force acting tangential to one surface of the body. So this shear stress is coming because of a force acting tangential to one surface of the body. The normal stress is coming because of a force acting perpendicular to one surface of the body. So these are stresses coming due to forces acting on the surface. Whereas this force, body force, is distinct from these two types of forces. This body force is some kind of a force that is acting on a body from a distance. It is not directly touching or forcing the body. It is forcing the body from a distance, like your gravitational field. Nothing is forcing you directly by hitting you on the surface, either normally or tangentially. This acceleration or the gravitational force is just acting throughout our body. Similar to that, not only gravitational force, a body may be under magnetic force. If the body is consisting of a magnetic material, the body may be under some kind of electrical field. So because of any such field, there may be a force acting on a body. That force is called the body force. And again, let me tell, is the body force per unit volume. Okay. So if it is gravitational body force, then what will be the gravitational body force? It will be rho into g. Because our y-axis is vertically upward and rho into g will be acting downward. So for the case of a body force due to gravitational field, it will be minus rho into g. Because minus rho into g is the force acting on the body in a downward direction opposite to the y positive direction, and that force will be the force acting on the body per unit volume of the body. So the total force will be minus rho into g into delta x into delta y, which is the volume of the control volume, into 1. Now what we will do is that we will try to relate these stresses acting on the body. The general stress field is connected to the velocity field through this equation, that the normal stress will be equal to the pressure acting on the body minus 2 mu del u del x plus 2/3 mu del u del x plus del v del y. And what we can see is that this term may be present or absent depending on whether the density is variable or constant. When the density of the fluid is constant, then we know del u del x plus del v del y will be equal to 0. And if it is not constant, then this will be equal to minus of this part. Okay. This part will be equal to minus of 1 by rho into d rho dt, because summation of these two is equal to 0 in general. But for the particular case of constant density, individually this term will be equal to 0, and this bracketed term given by del u del x plus del v del y will be equal to 0. So we have written it in a general form, which is valid for both a constant density case as well as a variable density case. And the shear stress is given by mu into del u del y plus del v del x, and happen to be the shear stress. What is the distinction between tau yx and tau xy? We have discussed. Did I discuss in the previous class or not? As I remember I discussed, but I did not know when it got disconnected. Now what is
Yes,
the
yes, sir. Discuss.
you were there connected at that time or not?
Yes, sir.
So what is the meaning of this tau yx? Tau yx means what? And what is the difference between tau yx and tau xy? Can you tell once again? I'll repeat once again. Can somebody tell what we mean by tau yx? This tau is the shear stress, and
স্যার টাও এক্স ওয়াই যদি আমি বলি তাহলে ওটা ডাইরেকশন অফ দ্য নর্মাল মানে ডাইরেকশন অফ ফোর্স নর্মাল টু দ্য সারফেস এক্স ওয়াই, so it is direction of the force which is normal to the x surface, and the y represents the direction of the force.
yes, now any force is acting on a surface and in a particular direction. Now if you see, this stress is because of action of a force acting on a surface and acting in a particular direction. You see, this stress and this stress, they are both acting along the x direction. These stresses are due to forces which are acting along the x direction. Okay, so but there is a difference between this stress and this stress. This stress is acting on a face which is perpendicular to the x direction, and this stress is acting on a face. This face is perpendicular to the y axis or y direction. So this stress is acting on a face which is on the y direction, normal to the y direction, and acting along the x axis. So this will be called as tau yx, indicating that it is acting on a face which is normal to y and acting along the direction of x. Whereas this will be called as tau xx, because it is acting on a, you can say not tau xx, you can call it, say, any sigma xx. That is, it is acting on a face which is normal to x-axis, and also the direction of the force is along x-axis. So the first index of a stress tensor, the first index should indicate the plane on which the stress is acting. The first index is acting, it is indicating the force on which the stress is acting. So this indicates that it is the face. The face is normal to y-axis and the stress is acting along x direction. Whereas this indicates it is acting on a face which is normal to x-axis and acting along the y direction. And if you see the what you call the form of this equation, what is tau yx? It involves a velocity component along x-axis, velocity component along y-axis, and velocity component along x-axis is differentiated with respect to y, and velocity component along y-axis is differentiated with respect to x. So what we can say, these two will be similar, because this also will be involving both u and v, because it involves x and y. It will involve velocity components along x and y, and their differentiation will be in the crosswise manner. That is, u will be differentiated with respect to y, v will be differentiated with respect to x. So by the form of this equation, we can say this will be equal to this. Also, it can be shown with the help of a, what you call, if you take a moment of the two forces under a body under equilibrium, it will come out with tau yx will be equal to tau xy. And also through the form of this equation, it has to be like this, okay? Because tau ix is equal to del u del y del v del x, tau xy also will be what? It will be the same thing. So if we substitute this stress values in terms of the velocity gradient into the earlier derived equation, if you put it over here, del x of sigma x, if you put it over here, del x of sigma x, this is the sigma x part, and the second term is del y of tau yx or tau xy is the tau yx or tau xy, del y of tau xy or tau yx plus the body force term. And if you further differentiate this thing, then it will come out to be rho into del u del t du dt will be equal to minus del p del x plus, what will be the things? Again, there are, if you see, there are 2 mu del 2u del x square. But this 2 mu del 2u del x square, we have broken this into two parts, mu del 2u del x square plus mu del 2u del x square. So one part is connected over here, mu del 2u del x square is over here. Then here you have mu into del 2u del y square, mu into del 2u del y square. Then where the rest part goes, first of all, for a constant density, this part will be absent. Okay, this part will be absent. This is for a constant density. And then we have one more del 2u del x square. We have one more del 2u, one is connected to this. We have one more del 2u del x square. And if you see, there is one more del 2v del x del y. Now this del 2v del x del y, you can write it as del x of del v del y. So you have one del x of del u del x, you have one more del x of del v del y. So if you combine these two, it will become del x of del u del x plus del v del y. Let me write it, otherwise it will be difficult to.
স্যার অন্যভাবে কি প্রুফ করা যায় না?
কিরকম ভাবে যেতে পারে আমি জানি না, ভাবিনি কিরকম ভাবটা বলছো, আমি সেটা যদি বলো একটু ভালো হয়।
স্যার লাইক আমরা যদি কন্ট্রোল ভলিউম নিলাম, দেওয়ার পরে ওখানে আমরা অ্যাঙ্গুলার মোমেন্টামটাকে যদি জিরো করে যদি প্রুফ করার চেষ্টা করি, বেসিক্যালি তখন আমাদের টেনসারের দিকে চলে যাবে জিনিসটা মেবি।
তখন আবার বলো যে এইভাবে কি করা যায় না, there are many ways to do, I am doing through one way. এইটা যেটা লিখেছি এটা হচ্ছে এটা এই আর কি। Now again, for a constant property you have written is mu will come out. এখান থেকে কি এটা লেখা যায় for constant density? For constant density this will go out.
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
তাহলে এইটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি এই স্টেটমেন্টটা আগে হওয়া উচিত আর কি। Statement will be varied over here. Because of constant property, first of all this will be equal to 0, del u del x plus del v del y will be equal to 0. চলো তারপরে এখানে 2 mu ওলা যেটা আছে, that 2 mu, one part is over here, one part is over here. Okay, then what will remain? The other part will be combined with mu into del x of del v del y. I have interchanged this order of differentiation. We have one part here, we have one part here, and this part goes over here. del y of del u del y is del 2u del y square. One part of this del x of del u del x is this thing, another part is connected over here. So finally, it becomes much more less awkward looking. Is this thing. Now this is our what you call the momentum equation along the x direction, and for a 2D flow field. For a 3D flow field, there will be one more extra term which will involve del u del z square. For a 3D flow field, the x direction momentum equation will be rho ddt of u minus del p del x plus mu into del 2u del x square del 2u del y square plus del 2u del z square. In simple term, it will be your Laplacian operator del square of u plus the body force along x direction per unit volume. And similarly, the y momentum equation, the momentum equation along y will be identical in form. It will be rho into ddt of the v component of the velocity vector. This will be replaced by, instead of del p del x, it will be del p del y, and Laplacian of u will be replaced by Laplacian operator on v, the v component of velocity. Along the z direction, it will be acting on the z component of velocity. This pressure gradient term will be with respect to del p del z, and this represents the acceleration in the x direction multiplied by the mass per unit volume of the control volume. And this is the body force along the z direction. And in a vectorial notation, we can write it as rho into del t of the velocity vector v, and we can write it as equal to grad of p, because that grad of p will have a component along x del x, it will have a component along y del y, will have a component along z del z, and this mu into Laplacian operator operating on the velocity vector v. So the x component will be only involving u, y component will be involving v, z component will be involving w. Plus, if there is a body force vector F, which will have a component along x given by capital X, the y component is given by capital Y, and the z component of this force is given by capital Z. And in a tensorial notation or indicial notation, we can write it as d rho into ddt of ui, where this I can vary from 1 to 2 for a two-dimensional flow case, and it will vary from 1 to 2 to 3 for a three-dimensional flow field. And this will be del p del xi, whatever the value of I, here it will be that same value of I. Now this, when I is equal to 1, it means the velocity component along the x-axis, which we normally write it as small u. When I is equal to 2, it is the velocity component along the y direction, which we call it as v. And when I is equal to 3, is the velocity component along the z axis, which we write it as w. Okay. Then when I is equal to 1, what we do is that we differentiate with respect to del p del x1. That x1 means x-axis, x2 means y-axis, x3 means z-axis. So sorry, I'll take when I is equal to 1, we have the component along x-axis, and when I is equal to 1, this x becomes x1. x1 is basically x, x2 is y, and x3 is z. So when I is equal to 1, you have x, I is equal to 2, you have y, I is equal to 3, you have z. Then mu into del 2 ui. Del 2 ui. What is the value of I? It may be 1, it may be 2, it may be 3. Accordingly, it will be u or v or w. And whenever we write del, the repetition of index, here what we have written is del xj del xj. So it is basically del 2 ui del xj square. Okay. Now that del xj square is equal to del xj del xj. Differentiate twice. Now whenever there is a repetition of index, it means summation over all values of j. Now similar to I, j also varies from 1 to 3. So it will be differentiated with all values of j. J will be 1. When j is equal to 1, then this is basically x. When j is equal to 2, it is y. J is equal to 3, it is z. Both I is equal to 1 or j is equal to 1 means x-axis or x direction. I is equal to 2 or j is equal to 2 means it is along y direction. I is equal to 3 or j is equal to 3 means it is along z direction. So because it is repetition of index, it will indicate summation over all possible values of that index starting from 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, depending on whether it is a two-dimensional flow case we are considering or we are considering a three-dimensional flow case. Okay. Is it clear, this part? This index notation is clear?
Yes, sir.
For anybody, is it not clear? Otherwise, I'll go to the next. I'll take a 3 minutes break and I'll come back. Okay. Yeah, I'm having some throat.
স্যার আপনি কি কিছু বলছেন? ওটা কিন্তু শোনা যাচ্ছে না, রেকর্ডিংটা অন আছে। আই গেস ইউ আর মিউটেড স্যার।
Yes, yes. Thank you. Now, what I was saying is that so far we have discussed about the continuity equation, which is the general form is this, and we have discussed about the momentum equation just now. And if you see, it involves the velocity components, but not any temperature directly is present. Though temperature may be present through change of density in natural convection case, but in forced convection, the flow field is not due to any density change. So, as such, the continuity equation does not involve explicit presence of temperature. And again, if we come to the momentum equation, the momentum equation also, if you see, it does not involve presence of temperature directly. Though here also that y direction body force term may involve a temperature term because of this body force in a density driven flow. In a natural convection, the flow is because of density gradient, and that density gradient is due to the temperature gradient. So this body force term, particularly in the y direction, may involve indirectly a presence of temperature, but otherwise along the x direction there is no body force. In natural convection, z direction also does not involve any temperature term. Here also it does not involve any temperature term. This may involve temperature term. This will not be clear. It will be clear after further discussion. What I am saying is that explicitly does not involve presence of temperature in any one of the equations that we have considered for the three momentum equation, also in the continuity equation. And this four equation involves the four unknowns: the pressure term, the U, V, and W components of velocity. So these involve four unknowns: P, U, V, W, and to solve them, the four equation in terms of the continuity equation and the three equations in terms of the three momentum equation, they are good enough to be solvable to find out P, U, V, W. But whenever we require to solve for the temperature gradient, we require to have an equation that will involve temperature. So that is not there. Now temperature will come when we consider the energy conservation equation. So we have to discuss the energy conservation equation to find out the temperature term, a differential equation in terms of temperature, and solution of that will lead us to find out how T varies with x, y, z and time. And once we find out that thing, then we can find out the temperature gradient. So it is essential for us to consider the energy equation whenever we are trying to find out a the temperature distribution either for a forced convection or for a natural convection. Now again, here we have taken a two-dimensional control volume along x and y, and similar things will be extended for a three-dimensional case. But to make things simple, we have taken a two-dimensional case involving a control volume along x-axis having a length delta x. The length of the control volume along y is delta y. And along with the mass which is entering, what is the mass term present? You see delta y into the depth is equal to 1. Delta y into 1 is the area of this face. Now through that area, if you consider u, the velocity component normal to that area, u into area gives you what? That is the volume flow rate. And that if you multiply u into area, you know that is u into area is equal to volume flow rate. Okay. That if you multiply with density gives you the mass flow rate. And along with the mass flow rate, per unit mass, and a specific energy E is entering. That specific energy E is the energy per unit mass of the fluid which is entering. And what is the rate of mass inflow? That is given by rho into U into delta Y multiplied by 1. So that is the mass flow rate entering into this control volume. And the energy entering is rho into U into E into delta Y. And similarly, the energy which is leaving out of this is this term plus del del X of this term into delta X. Okay. So because this delta Y is independent of X, so we can bring it out of this thing, and the mass, the energy which is going out is simply, we can from here we can write the energy entering is rho u e into delta y. It will be rho u e into delta y plus del del x of rho u e into delta y, and that delta y you can bring it out of this thing. It becomes del del x of rho u e into delta x delta y. And similarly, the energy which is entering through the bottom face, what is the area of this bottom face? That is equal to delta x into 1. 1 is the depth of that control volume, which we have not shown. The area is equal to delta x into 1. Through that, a volume flow rate is happening. And what is the volume flow rate? Is the V into area, that is delta x into 1. V into area is delta x into 1. And that if you multiply with the density, you get the mass flow rate. Allowing the mass flow rate, again energy which is entering is that mass flow rate into specific energy is E. And similarly, from the top face, energy going out is rho VE plus del del x of rho VE into delta x in whole into, del del y into rho VE into delta y, and the area is delta x. Okay. What is the what is the value of this quantity at this phase? It will be rho VE plus del del y of rho VE into delta y whole into area is equal to delta x into 1. So this is the energy going out, energy entering, energy going out, energy entering. And because of this energy interaction with the surrounding, generally there is a possibility that the energy of the control volume will change with respect to time. It may increase. In that case, the energy change will be positive. It may decrease. Then the rate of change will be a negative quantity. So the rate of change of energy of the control volume is equal to what is the mass of the control volume? Rho into delta x into delta y into 1 is the mass of the control volume. Multiply that with the energy, that is specific energy, that is small e. So rho into delta x into delta y into small e is the E of the control volume, capital E of the control volume, the total energy of the control volume, and rate of change of that is del del T of that ECV, that we call it in thermodynamics. This is the energy which is entering through convective motion of the fluid. Energy is not only entering because of flow of mass across the control volume along with the convective motion of the fluid. The energy is entering due to convective motion of the fluid. Also, the energy may enter and leave the control volume due to conduction. Now, why conduction will happen? Because whenever there is a temperature gradient, conduction will take place. Conduction is a phenomenon that will happen irrespective of whether the fluid moves or not. Conduction is a rate of energy flow that will happen because of temperature gradient. So, because we are talking of heat transfer, so there must be temperature gradient existing within the fluid medium. And whenever there is a temperature gradient, point to point, there will be temperature variation. And because of the temperature variation, conductive heat flux also will enter. Conductive heat flux may also leave. Conductive heat flux may enter, and conductive heat flux may leave out of the control volume. So what is the conductive heat flux entering through this phase is Qx double prime. This double prime indicates per unit area. Just as we are using the Q triple prime indicates the heat generation term per unit volume. So multiply this with the volume, that is equal to delta x delta y into 1 is the total rate of heat generation considering the total volume of the control volume, whereas Q triple prime indicates the rate of heat generation per unit volume of the body we are considering. This is the rate of heat generation per unit volume given by watt per meter cube. Multiply that with the volume, that is delta X delta Y into 1 is meter cube is the volume. And what is the rate of energy entering through conduction? The heat flux multiplied by the area. What is the area? Delta Y into 1. This is the heat flux entering into the area through a heat flux Q Y double prime, indicates the heat flux along the Y direction. And what is the area? Is delta X into 1. So these are the rate of heat energy entering, heat flux into area, rate of energy entering, heat flux into area. Similarly, the energy leaving will be equal to heat flux at this phase. The heat flux at this phase will be equal to Qx double prime plus del x of Qx double prime into delta x multiplied by the area is delta y into 1. Similarly, the energy which is leaving will be equal to heat flux leaving at this phase, that is Qy double prime plus delta y of Qy double prime into delta y whole into area is delta x into 1. So these are the energy entering and leaving this control volume through conduction. These are the energy entering and leaving the control volume through convection. Apart from this, what is happening is that is it all that you have to consider, or do you think anything else will come? Any other form of energy will come into this control volume? Because you have studied thermodynamics. There, whatever you have done, you are doing the same thing over here. Only in case of thermodynamics, we have not explicitly considered this part, the conduction part, but this part you have taken in thermodynamics. So when you have taken the steady state energy equation or energy equation for an open system and control volume, apart from the energy entering through the mass, along with the mass, did you consider any other thing?
The heat generation within the control volume, ওটা কি নিয়েছি আমরা?
Now, I mean, see, what additionally you have taken? Because you have not taken the heat case, because you have taken as if something is happening in a kind of a isothermal condition type of thing. So you have a heat addition is there. What I am saying is that anything other than this thing, this E, small e means what? Is the internal energy plus potential energy plus kinetic energy.
ওই h plus u square by 2 যেটা আমরা লিখি।
Gz plus half into velocity square, the kinetic energy, and internal energy is u, which together makes you the energy, specific energy, small e. Small e consists of small u, the internal energy, plus Gz, the potential energy, and half velocity square is the kinetic energy. All in specific per kg form. What I am saying is that along with that thing, have we taken any other term? Here what we have done, W dot Cv, the work output, or sorry, Q dot Cp, the heat input, plus energy entering is equal to W dot Cv plus the energy leaving. When you have taken the energy entering, you have taken this type of term, the mass flow rate into m dot into u plus Gz plus half velocity square. Similarly, at the outlet, you have taken similar type of thing. Apart from that, you have taken one thing, that is P into V. And this U plus PV has made you H. If you remember, in your first law for a control volume, you have taken U plus PV. What was that? PV was called as, some people they call it a flow work. It may be given any other name. There may be a dispute whether it is a flow work or work is a path function, whereas PV is a point function. All these things are there. But where from that PV comes? কোন সেমিস্টারে পড়েছো? থার্মোডাইনামিক্স পড়েছো কোন সেমিস্টারে?
স্যার থার্মোডাইনামিক্স আমরা ফার্স্ট ইয়ার সেকেন্ড সেমিস্টারে পড়েছিলাম।
First year, second sem means that just the semester
previous sem,
just immediately before. এর মধ্যে ভুলে গেলে হবে? U plus PV
পিভিটা তো আপনার ওর জন্য আছে না, মানে পিস্টনটা যে ডিসপ্লেসমেন্ট ওয়ার্ক করছে ওটার জন্য।
So here also there are so many stresses which are acting.
হ্যাঁ,
See, for example, এইখানে আমরা যেটা নিয়েছি এই যে normal stress which is equal to minus P plus all those things are there, velocity terms are there. In thermodynamics we have taken only the P part, P into V. Where from it comes? Because it is being opposed by some pressure inside, and against that it is acting, and so to push this fluid, it is acting against some force which is acting outward, and against that force you are causing some displacement of a mass. You are displacing that mass by some distance. Per unit time it is the velocity. The distance per unit time, distance travels per unit time is the velocity. So the work done per unit time will equal to the force, which is equal to P into area, and the velocity is the distance traveled per unit time. So multiply that velocity into area, you get the volume flow rate into density. All these things are there, so that makes you the mass flow rate, which is equal to m dot into specific volume. আর P যেটা আছে P এর সঙ্গে specific volume গুণ করলে PV হয়। PV টাই হচ্ছে এটা, it is also energy that is entering. Similarly, when the control volume is pushing out some mass, is spending some energy to push out that mass. PE into VE হয়ে যাবে। তো সেই যে টার্মগুলো, ওই টার্মগুলোকে আমাদের নিতে হবে, অর্থাৎ to cause this flow against a internally acting, বাইরে থেকে যেমন এরকম ভাবে স্ট্রেস আসছে, it is also trying to oppose the control volume. Similarly, when it is pushing out this thing, it is giving a work output to the surrounding. Similarly, when there is a flow in this direction and it is causing some work.
Oh, তার মানে বলতে গেলে the work in the control volume is basically by two factors. First is the body force, another one is the surface force. আপনি কি ওটা বলতে চাইছেন?
বডি ফোর্সে হবে, সারফেস ফোর্সে হবে। সারফেস ফোর্স গুলো দু রকমের হবে, একটা হচ্ছে ট্যানজেন্সিয়াল ফোর্স, একটা হবে নর্মাল ফোর্স। Also body force will have a displacement, the whole thing may move, and to cause that movement again some work is necessary, so that will be equal to x into u along x dot u কোচের হবে, x dot u, কারণ work is a scalar quantity, whereas the x এটা force is acting, this is indicates a force along x direction, and velocity component along x direction will be u. X into u, x dot u will give you the work done plus y into v plus z into w, এগুলো হবে additional work done, সেইগুলোকে নিতে হবে। All those things together will be causing your total energy interaction. One interaction is through the mass flow, তার সঙ্গে এনার্জি ঢুকছে, because of conduction তার সঙ্গে এনার্জি ঢুকছে বেরোচ্ছে, again because of the forces multiplied by the velocity components will give you the additional energy interaction with the surrounding. সেই পার্টটাকে আমি পরের দিন করব, because that itself is a large term. Is that thing, the rate of work transfer by the control volume to its surrounding because of action of all the stresses, and সেই পার্টটা, সেই টার্মটা হচ্ছে এই টার্মটা, এটা আমি পরের দিন আবার আরম্ভ করবো। গলাটা একটা কনজেশন হয়ে যাচ্ছে, একটু অসুবিধা হচ্ছে। রোল কল করবো।
স্যার আমরা চ্যাট বক্সে নিজের রোলটা লিখে দিয়েছি, আপনার সুবিধা হতে পারে।
সবাইকে লিখে দিয়েছো? সবাই
হ্যাঁ
লিখে দিয়েছে?
হ্যাঁ 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 স্যার।
ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, উইল স্টপ ইট টুডে।
ওকে স্যার, নো প্রবলেম।
Thank you, sir.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
স্যার তাহলে আমরা নিজেদেরকে ডিসকানেক্ট করছি।
হ্যাঁ করে দাও, আমি এখান থেকে কপি করে নিচ্ছি।
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ স্যার।